Right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I had to switch some stuff around. I'm about to get into this live session with us. Me and my man, Coach Hodge. Give me a second. Give me a second. Chat discontinue. No. Oh, well. Let's do it this way. Okay. Let me get back in here. Back in there. What's up, family? Anybody out there listen to us? Going live. Ew. Let's get into it. Yep. Da. Okay. All right. Here we go. Where is my? Oh, let me see. My control room. Oh, we don't have nobody with us yet. Live stream is ready. All right, so we're about to get this party started, right? Let's get this party started quickly, right? Whew. Boy. All right, y'all. Me and my man Coach Hodge about to go live and talk about this real serious topic that needs to be said, needs to be talked about. But first, I want y'all to do this. All right, picture this. You're coaching a youth team full of potential, right? But there's one player who stands out. Not because of her skills, his or her skills, but because of their attitude. So they walks into a practice like they already made it, right? Like the game owes them something. But what happens when the game doesn't go their way? When reality hits and they realize that talent alone won't carry them far. So, if you ever face this as a coach, maybe a player or a parent, you know exactly where we're going, where we're headed today. Stick around because we're going to dig deep into this trap. And I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. But this trap, you're going to have to stick around for this trap that's catching too many youth athletes off guard. So we're going to talk about that. Yep. So welcome back to another episode of Full Court Dreams, the Underdawgs Voice, where we just don't talk about sports. We talk about life through the lens of the game. I'm your host, Coach Q. And beside me is the man who keeps it real every time, my man, Coach Hodge. What's going on, Coach Hodge?
What's going on, man? Glad to be back on the show.
Yeah, man. Look,
glad to be back in the Underdawgs Lounge.
Yeah. So look, we're gonna hit this topic. This topic hits home for for many coaches or parents who've seen their athletes start to think that they're too good to put that work in, right? There's a lot of kids out there like that now. And so we're going to talk about entitlement in youth sports. Entitlement and how it develops and why it's dangerous, and most importantly, how can we help our athletes stay grounded?
Yeah, that's right, Coach. Again, thanks for having me on the show. Good to be back in the lounge, man. Entitlement it's like a virus. It spreads fast. It can destroy locker rooms. It can destroy teams from the inside out, especially if it's not checked. But we're not just here to complain about it. We're here to find a solution, help other coaches, help parents, and even help other players how to navigate through that so-called path of entitlement. Maybe you play on a team where you got a player like that, you coach a player like that, or you have your child like that.
Right.
We're here to just offer you solutions, have real talk, real conversations, even sharing some tough love, some tips, and some advice to help you get past this. So let's get it.
Yeah, let's start. Let's start. So let's set the stage, right? We all know youth sports, right? Have changed over the years. The more pressure, there's more pressure to win than ever. Like everybody want to win. Everybody want to win, right? Everybody want to win. To stand out to get that scholarship, right? So there's a lot of pressure on our kids these days.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And with that, like with that comes with a lot of pressure with that, their mentality. So some athletes develop um, where they think they're owe something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because they think, oh, I'm putting in some work, you know what I mean? So I think I deserve this and I think I deserve that. And whether it's playing time, special treatment, or even a guaranteed spot on their team. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Listen up. When things don't go their way,
Oh yeah.
it can lead to frustration, conflict, and sometimes, you know what I'm saying, in some cases they just quit because they don't get their way.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, and check this out. It's not just about what happens on the court.
Mm-hmm.
This mentality can affect their relationship with their teammates.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So and that's what it erodes a lot of programs because of this mentality of this person that seems to make everything about them. And oftentimes you might have a championship team, winning team or pedigree, but you got this player that is so entitled that it ruins everything for you. So, but again, it goes back to affecting relationships, teammates, coaches, and even their parents. So we're seeing kids who barely hit middle school,
Right. Right.
right, already acting like they the next big thing, and that's crazy to me because you haven't even you big on potential, but your hard work probably doesn't even match it. But you entitled, you want all this playing time, but without the work ethic to back it up, it's a problem. And as you look at it, it's getting worse.
Right, right. And look. It ain't all the kids' fault. It's somebody else's fault too. But look, let me tell you. So I had this player, right? And we just gonna call her Nia. That's what we're gonna call her. We're just gonna call it because I don't want to put nobody's name out there like that. But Nia, right? So Nia was one of the best and the most talented, naturally talented player that I have ever coached. Right? She had handles, like can shoot, speed. She had everything, but she also had a chip on her shoulder, uh, like the game owed her something, right? Just because she was good. At first, I thought it was confidence, because we sometimes we get that mixed up, confidence. But I soon realized that it wasn't confidence; it was something more. And the thing it was she just thought she was entitled. She thought she was entitled to start. She thought she was entitled to playing time. She thought she was entitled to scoring and all that. And we ain't really want to play in my system. So where does this sense of entitlement come from? That's the question we need to ask. So let's break it down. We're gonna break it down for you. Me and Coach Hodge can break it down for you. So first off, there's the overemphasis on winning, right? That's one. We see it all the time. Parents, coaches, who push these kids to win at all costs, right? When we're consistently told that winning is everything, you start, to believe that you deserve to win no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And when it doesn't happen, well, the meltdown, the meltdowns follow. You know what I mean? Kids start throwing little tantrums.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. So listen, man, let's not forget about the kind of era that we in and the thing that these kids dealing with as far as social media.
right,
Let's not
right.
forget the social media aspect of this. And I think that this generation is really, really getting a self entitlement from this social media.
Right.
These kids are watching highlight reels every day. They consume with so many short videos, short reels from
Mm-hmm.
all these social media platforms, and they seeing these reels of professional athletes living their high life, and they start to think, "Hey, if they can do it, maybe I can do it."
Right.
Or they start to get this self belief that why not me?
Right.
And it's an unhealthy thing because one, they haven't like went through what the person that they're looking at went through. They don't
Right.
know how they got there.
Mm-hmm.
All they see is the result. They're not looking at the process of it.
Right.
And that's where it's unhealthy for a young youth sport athlete to consume so much and never have to work for it or live through that process and just want the result. It tends to give a self entitlement, like I can do this. It's about me. I want my life. It's almost like narcissism in a sense that
Yeah.
that you're just making it about you because of your own personal goals. And I think that I think that what they don't see again is the grind
Mm-hmm.
that goes into there. They don't see the 5 a.m. workouts.
Right.
They don't see what I often tell players a lot, the failures. Like it's okay to fail because you won't know what success is until you fail, quite honestly. They don't see the losses. They don't see they just see glory, they see the grits and they see all of that and they think it's all about them.
Right, man. Look, exactly. And then there's the parental influence, right? So some parents, not all. Not I'm not saying all you parents. I say some. Right? It's some. I know some really good parents, but I know some crazy parents also. So not all parents, but some are pushing their kids to live out their own dreams through them. Right? So some parents be trying to, live their dreams through their kids. So they're telling them that they're the best, that they deserve everything, and that that mindset transfers to the kid, right? So it's no longer about earning it; is about expecting it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're protective of our kids. You know what I mean? We want our kids to have what we didn't have, but it's a fine line with trying to live through your kid, because then it don't become about your kid, it becomes about you,
right,
as a parent. And your kid might don't even like the game no more, but you're pushing them and pushing them and pushing them, and you're giving them everything, and you taking them off of teams because they ain't getting enough playing time and stuff like that. So that's really letting them know that, what, you don't gotta work hard, you can just jump from this place to that place. And that just creates the entitlement thing, man.
yeah. I think you make a great point. As you said, with the parental aspect, parents living their dreams like vicariously through their child,
Right.
and pushing them to do. I understand that as parents, we want the best for our children, and we carve out paths for our children. But at a certain point, you got to let your child be them. I think, and when you don't, then they're going to gravitate to that self entitlement thing.
Mm-hmm.
What we've been talking about. But here's the thing. We're not going to like say every kid is bad when it comes to this, because we've coached some great kids. We've coached some
Right.
talented kids. We coach some underdog kids,
Mm-hmm.
and not every kid falls into this trap.
Nope.
And coaches out there like myself and Coach Steve, I'm sure you probably dealt with this on numerous occasions. But this is where coaches come in.
Right.
This is where coaches come in, and this is where we have to set that tone.
Mm-hmm.
We have to create the environment where effort is rewarded over talent. And until we do that and set a culture for our teams and our programs, until we do that, we just gonna have entitlement running rampant and destroying our programs. So, not telling you how to run your program as a coach, but it has to be uh, an environment or culture that establishes effort as the reward over talent, where teamwork is valued over individual glory.
Yep.
So you might got that awesome player that she or he MVP worthy, yeah, but you got to think back. You think back to you valuing that individual glory over teammate. Like, yeah, they scored 30 points, but are you in the locker room at the end of the game praising that one player when it was the team effort? They chipped in 30 points, but that 30 points didn't come solely straight off the dribble. Somebody passed it to him. Mm-hmm. So that means a teammate got an assist. Somebody set a screen for him.
Right.
So It goes back to what are you valuing? Are you valuing teamwork, setting screens, um, making the extra pass, or the individual glory? And that's how we combat this entitlement mentality, simply by rewarding teamwork. Basketball is a team game. Let's take 5 players, and we have to reward teamwork over just, oh yeah, you got 35 today. That's good. Keep. I need you to get 35 tomorrow. I need you to get 35 next week. Our big rivalry game coming up. I need you to go for 40. Now you see when you do that, now you have this self entitlement is gonna run crazy.
You created a monster, especially you talking to one person and tell them, I need
Right.
you. You keep on saying you. I need you to do this. I need you to do that.
Right.
Great players already know what they need to do, right? Especially great players that are not entitled. They already know what they need to do as a player. Like, so look, let's go back to the Nia situation, right? The girl Nia, right? Oh, she was good. She was good. Um, she was so good that she thought she could coast through practice, right? Kind of practice and coast and show up late and still be the star. I don't play that, dude. But when it came to time to perform in big games, that attitude cost us. Right. So she was missing shots. She was getting frustrated. And instead of focusing, she started blaming everybody else.
Oh boy.
That's that entitlement. She started blaming the refs, the basketball.
Oh, we all had that play.
Right, everything, right? She started blaming everything, her teammates, even me. You know what I'm saying? And so, but look, after the game, so I pulled her to the side and we had a one-on-one chat, and it was a tough conversation. And I told her straight up, like, look, Neil, look, talent is great, but it won't save you if you're not putting in the work. So she didn't like hearing it, but she needed to, man. Look, this entitlement thing is something special, and not in a good way. And we're gonna talk about it some more, but you know,
Yeah. I think that's real talk. I think she definitely needed to hear it. She might not wanted to hear it,
right?
but in the grand scheme of things, and we're really trying to hone in on this entitlement point today, for those of you viewing, um, and try to help shed some light on coaches that's watching that's doesn't know how to handle this situation. I think that you have to address it, like you said. You pulled us to the side right after the game, and you had to have a tough conversation. It start with a tough conversation as coaches, and you might be afraid to lose your best player, and
you can't be afraid to lose your best player, man.
right, and we talk about real life scenarios because we face these things, and yeah, there's some kind of like thing that you don't want tension with you and your best player and things like that. But at the end of the day, you about results, and this is a result driven sport. So, but you get results as a team oriented way, not in an individual way. So you putting her to the side probably, or I would think, shaped her mindset going forward. That listen, it can't be about you. It can't be about you. You can't go around blaming everybody else and not taking responsibility and accountability for yourself. And I think that that attitude will cost you almost every time. Um, and the thing I like that you did with the young lady was putting her to the side, having a tough conversation, saying, "Look, I don't play. I don't like. This is not how I run our show. This is not how we do things around here. You got great talent. You got great talent, but here's the thing: your great talent can't is going to be capped because of your entitlement. Until you lose that entitlement, you got a ceiling. You probably the sky's the limit with your talent, but if you stay entitled, it's going to be capped. And that's real talk. In these moments, they can make or break a player. Sometimes I think that it really can make or break a player in that the more you are entitled, and this for players that's watching, and hopefully you can like have a man in the mirror experience and talk to yourself and say, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be that entitled. Maybe my teammates need me. Maybe my coach need me. Maybe my parents want me to represent them better. And that moment will make you. But at the same time, if you don't do that, that moment will break you. You're gonna have some adversity.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you got this entitlement thing going, and it's everybody else's fault. And guess what? It ain't, you the one out there that's in your head playing like that. Your teammates probably had a great game. They probably looking at you like, we did all right.
Right.
But you so entitled in that, oh, I gotta score this 40, and it's really corroding locker rooms all over the country, even in the professional level. You got that one player that's so entitled. That's why he get traded so much.
Right.
Organizations don't want yeah, we gonna go ahead and get you out of here because of this entitlement factor. And here's the thing: show me a player that was entitled, and show me if they ever won a championship.
Nah.
Entitled players don't win championships.
Nope. They destroy teams.
They destroy. They distract. And
yep.
This is why they have to need to be humbled before they can rise.
Mm-hmm.
And again, coaches, it's our job to guide them through that. It's our job to make them humble themselves and still be a great player.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it's not just about basketball, man. These lessons, like they carry over into life. And if we're letting our youth athletes go through life thinking that they're owed something, and then they're in for a rude awakening, man. Because life, the real world don't play that. The real world. You think I'm a hard coach? This real world is the hardest coach you're gonna ever have. You're gonna get out into that real world, and this is gonna hit you hard. Entitlement is like a Mack truck, dude. You go out there and think you're entitled, you're gonna get hit real hard, man. So look, it's gonna be a rude awakening for our kids, man. And we cannot let them go through life thinking that they're entitled to everything. So that's why it's so important to address this early, right? And to set an expectation and hold them accountable, man. Look, coaches and parents, like we cannot be scared to hold our kids accountable. I'm an educator, and all my kids will tell you in my class that I hold them accountable for everything. Like we just first week of school, only thing we working on in first week of school with me is accountability, like classroom rules and expectations, and the kids help build those classroom rules and expectations, and they gotta live by them, and they don't. Only thing I'm gonna do is pick up the phone or email their mom and tell them, look, your kid broke classroom expectation number 1. Mom gonna know exactly what they did, because number 1 is you don't talk when the teacher's talking. So, right. So the mom gonna look on that sheet of paper, and then hopefully they correct them and they don't come back to school acting the same way. But this is a life or death situation, really, for me. Because entitlement is this, and there's a lot of kids out here that just think they're so entitled to stuff. But again, like I said, we ain't here to bash. We're here to help you, kids, parents, and coaches get through this. That's why we're doing this live. And it'll be played over again if you didn't catch this live. It'll be played over again. But yeah, man. So look, now I'm gonna tell you about the aftermath of Nia, right? So after our conversation, she started to change a little bit. She's been showing up to practice early, putting in that extra work, and most importantly, she started playing for the team, not just for herself. And this is what happens when you have that conversation, when people make them, like you said, be that look in the mirror, right? Mm-hmm. And really evaluate themselves, and see what damage they're causing to the team. Because you can always tell when entitlement comes into play, the team start to bigger more. It's always you. It's never me. It's never us. So the turning point came in another big game, and this time, instead of trying to do it all herself, you know what I mean? She passed the ball. She set screens. She played defense like I never seen before. You know what I mean? And we won a game. So not because of her talent, but because she finally got it. She finally understood that the game don't owe her nothing. She had to earn it. She had to earn every single thing. And just like I said, like in life, like you gotta earn everything. You either gonna sit down and mope because you ain't getting your way, or you gonna go out there and change that entitlement into some work and do what you need to do. Because you ain't nobody entitled to anything, man. You keep on thinking that you gonna have a hard and long road in life, man. Hard and long road in life.
Yeah, and that's powerful.
All right.
That's powerful. To hear that story and hear that particular player actually she got it, and not everybody will be successful at it. Not every player will like make that turn, but for you to have that fairy tale ending of that player going through what you went through with that player and her actually getting it, that's a powerful thing. And just going back to what we've been talking about, we as high school coaches, we get players that they come to us for the first time and they had many coaches through maybe AAU, middle school, um, whatever youth sport they played before they got to high school. And I think it goes back to setting that tone. We're the next coach that they're going to see before they get into, like you said, the real world, or if they're fortunate enough to play college basketball. And so if we don't, as coaches, if you're a high school coach like myself and Coach Steve, if you're a high school coach and you got that entitled player and she comes to your program or he comes to your program and they got that potential to play in college, if you don't set that tone, when they get into that real world, when they get into that college coach will.
Yeah.
And you don't want to see that player get dispelled from a team, or you don't want to see, what will come of an entitled player in college, because
Transfer portal.
exactly. Yeah, and that's why that's probably available, because
Right.
a lot of players go to these colleges and these coaches is not playing with them because, oh, you've been entitled for this long and nobody ever checked you or addressed it with you or sat and had the hard conversations like you did with Naya. And you get into these college coaches and they like, no, we don't do that here. And you hit the transfer portal. And guess what? The next place you go, same thing. No nonsense coach. And you're in the transfer portal. And then now 2 years of your career is gone. And now the reputation you've got is, oh, he or she is entitled. They don't want to play team basketball.
Nope.
And now you're current reputation. So I say all that to say that when we get these kids that play for other coaches that let that stuff ride, we really have to set that tone, because we're the next coach that they're going to see or go be under before they go into play their college career. And it's important that we check that tone and we establish those cultures and them principles for our high school programs, because we're going to get entitled kids. We just are, because not saying nobody at the middle school level or the AAU level are addressing these things. We know that these kids at the AAU level have egos, and
Their parents have egos. Some of their coaches have egos.
Yep, and it's a whole ego fest. And this kid's been puffed up, headstrong, coming into your program, and then it's like, okay, like, no, okay, clearly nobody has checked this. Clearly nobody has talked to you about this. But that's not how we do things. That's not how we do things. You're not putting it back. No, I know AAU is getting a bad rap, and rightfully so, because we are in the AAU establishing bad habits with players, and just having these kids play and think they are this and they that, when actuality, they not really fully developed to where they need to be, and they got egos.
Yep.
And they got this entitlement, and they still haven't reached the potential. And so it's a thing we have to deal with, unfortunately, as high school coaches, dealing with this puffed up head because you play on circuits in AAU and you think that you deserve what you deserve when you get here. And I would just challenge coaches, just have the hard conversation. What we've been talking about all day long, having a hard conversation, making sure this player understands what your culture is, and you have to set the tone. So, and that's what we're aiming for with all our players, right? So
Yeah.
that's the goal. We're trying to aim that our players have this understanding to get them to the point where they realize that the game is bigger than that and that it takes more than talent to succeed. And that's the main point in what we're trying to discuss today is that it takes more than just talent. You can have a multi-talented team, but if they a bunch of individuals, they're not going to beat that team.
Yeah.
They're never going to beat that team because teamwork beats talent every day of the week.
Every day of the week. And I mean, look, it's been proven. I had a talented team. And like we was talented in more than any other team that we played against. But look, man, they wasn't trying to buy in, so I had to let them fail.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I had to let them fail. But this year it's a whole different story. This year it's gonna be a whole different story. But look, exactly, man. Look, it's just not about sports again. It's about life, and we can't let these kids grow up understanding that nothing. We want these kids to grow up understanding that nothing is handed to you. That you got to work for it, whether it's in on a court, whether it's in a classroom, or whether it's in life. So you're probably saying, like, Coach, like, what can we do, like, to combat? What can we do to combat this? Like, give us some pointers on what can we do to combat this. And I'm gonna do it in just a second. I'm gonna give you some pointers. I'm gonna give you some pointers on what we can do to combat this. All right, so some of you might be wondering, what causes entitlement in youth. Look, entitlement in youth often arises from excessive praise, lack of accountability, and a culture of emphasis on winning and individual achievements, over teamwork and effort. But there's ways that you can change this, right? So, um, one thing you can do to combat entitlement, right? Is hold them accountable and hard work. So, installing team first mentality, right? To combat entitlement in sports, right? And it's crucial to install this, right? It's crucial to install that team mentality in our young kids, and athletes should be taught that no one is above the team. Right? No one is more important than the team, and that success is a collective effort. So that mindset fosters respect, cooperation, and a strong work ethic. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is promote accountability. So accountability is an antidote to entitlement. If you hold your players accountable, if you hold your kids accountable, parents, then entitlement won't show its ugly head, right? So athletes must learn how to take accountability for their actions, whether it's a mistake on the field or a conflict with a teammate, right? So, coaches and parents, we gotta reinforce that by setting clear expectations and holding athletes accountable for their behavior. And then the value of working hard. Like, we say this like you got to work hard, you know what I mean? But like you really have to work hard. Like, and then I mean, even some people that do work hard still feel as though they're entitled. You know what I mean?
That's true.
There's a lot of athletes that be out here, they be working hard, but they still feel like they're entitled. Look, I don't care how hard you work, you're still not entitled to anything, man. Like some of the greatest people in the world don't reach their, their true ability because, it's sometimes it happens. So you just gotta keep on. You gotta keep on working hard, and we gotta let them know that hard work should always be valued above raw talent. Athletes should understand that consistent effort and perseverance are the keys to success, and are less likely to develop an entitlement mentality. So coaches emphasize this by rewarding hard work and improvement rather than just natural abilities. So that's a couple of things that help. And while entitlement in sports is more dangerous than you think, it really is. Like is look, it's dangerous, dude. Like if it's one thing I can say, because I talk a lot about the last time I talked, I put out a video about burnout, right? Children burning out because because of specialization, right? They specialize too early in sports and they burn out, and that's dangerous. But entitlement can destroy a team, and we done seen it. You know what I mean? I done seen it. I done had teams split up during my AU years because of entitlement, and I didn't allow entitlement. So people with that, other teams, and I'm like, so did the entitlement work? No, it didn't work on those other teams either. So look, teach your kids about short-term gains versus long-term damage. So entitlement might provide short-term gain, such as special treatment or attention, but the long-term damage is far more significant, right? It destroys relationship, it erodes trust, and ultimately limits the athlete's potential, like you said, for growth and success.
Yep.
Right? So,
yep, totally agree.
And I'm going to start calling it the silent career killer.
Yeah.
Look, think about this, yo. If you think about a player that was in the NBA, right, that felt as though that they was entitled, right, their career ain't last long.
Nope.
And in college, like your career do not last long. So entitlement is often a sports career killer, man. It can derail athletes progress by preventing them from developing resilience. You know what I mean? Work ethic, teamwork skills. You got to have teamwork skills to play basketball or any sport. They need teamwork skills in order for that long-term success. So when an athlete ego is bigger than their dedication of the game, they risk losing everything.
Wow.
They work for. And look, another thing that reason why is like it's real dangerous for our athletes is because entitlement can also negatively affect an athlete's mental health. You may say, how, coach? I'm going to tell you how. When expectations aren't met and the fall from grace can be hard to handle and leading to stress, anxiety, and even depression. So the emotional toll on a kid that's feels as though they're entitled further impacts their ability to perform and enjoy the sport.
Yep,
so
big time.
Right. So that's the kids dropping out of sports. Can it be from specialization? Yes. But can it be from entitlement? Right, they get to me and they ain't entitled no more. So now I quit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And we had that. Like my first year at Newtown, like kids wanted to quit because I wasn't putting them on stuff, or parents trying to force me to put kids on varsity when I'm like, I'm not doing that, man. No, I'm not doing that. It's just that's me, and that's who I am. I'm not changing because I really think entitlement is very dangerous for youth sports, and it needs to be controlled, and we need to do better, man. Look, Maryland, Baltimore County, we losing a lot of good coaches because of this. Look, if you think about it, and I think and I want your opinion on this, Coach. So I think every college player should be paid for their likeness being used. I don't care if you're the last person on the bench. If your number 15 jersey is selling in the store, you should get paid for it. If your likeness is in a basketball on a video game, you should get paid for it. If you can go to a pizza place and they want to use you, you should get paid for it. I always think that, but on the other end, I do think that NIL contributes to this entitlement stuff also.
Yeah, I agree. So I agree 100% with player likeness and image. I would say that they should get played. It's like a healthy balance. They got to find a healthy balance. NIL and player likeness and image. I don't think these big universities should be profiting off these kids and they not getting none of the percentage, or they're not getting any of the money back for their hard work on the field or on the court or in the locker. I mean, in the gym.
Right.
So I do agree 100% that you definitely should pay these players. These colleges may say, well, we're paying them, we're giving them a full ride scholarship.
It ain't a full ride no more, dude. Like, be for real, bro. Like,
yeah, but that's just something they have to say that.
Right.
But when you look at the figure that these colleges are making, when these stadiums are packed out,
right, they making billions of dollars.
Yeah, you're making billions of dollars off these kids. Every stadium is sold out, and to not give them a penny, I don't think that's fair. That's not equity. But also the NIL definitely is developing a sense of entitlement in athletes. Now, in the long run, will it be bad for sports? Maybe. I definitely think that it gives athletes a sense of entitlement, because now it individualizes a person or a player on that team, where they can say to their teammates, well, I'm the one that's getting the commercials, or I'm the one that's this, I'm the one. And then that's the problem. So now as a coach, you have to deal with a whole nother level of entitlement, because these corporations are throwing this money at these players, and they're only 17, they're 18. And I think that giving a player that young that much money or that much will destroy
a team real quick.
Yeah, and I think them as an individual, if they can't handle that entitlement thing.
Right. So we got to teach them early. We got to teach them before they get to college.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had a guy on here that was talking about the NIL and how he educate kids on the NIL and their likeness, and he don't talk to the 2%, the high caliber kids, the top 100 kids. He's talking to the 98% of the kids that don't have a famous name or in the top 100. He helps them to learn how to maximize their NIL, their name and image and likeness. So, which I think is a good thing. But we have to teach kids at an early age that like work hard for that, but you're not entitled to it. Like everybody's not entitled to an NIL, unless they play in college. To me, if you ain't in college, like I don't think too many high schools do that. I think it's a fine line for when you get into college, right? In your high school. High school NILs, like paying 16-year-old kids that's playing basketball in high school is like crazy to me. Like sponsor the team.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sponsor the whole team if you want to do that. The high school team need the money more than that individual kid. But when they get into college, yeah, because they making all that money off these kids. So that could be a problem with entitlement. So you got to teach these kids early, man. Look, you're getting it because you worked hard, but you're not entitled to it. Right? You're not entitled to it. You're getting it because you're working hard. You're not entitled to it. So, I mean, I think that's one thing that's hurting basketball, and in some ways, man. Andre Iguodala, he talks about it. You know what I mean? You gotta think these young kids. We was 20, like he said, when they went to college, they was 21. They had to work hard to get there. He said now it's just like everybody getting exposed. You see the people getting to the leagues, and once they get to the league, they get exposed.
Yep,
and they get exposed. So that's just like in the AAU, or you kill them on your high school team. Right. And once you get to AAU,
right,
your lower tail getting exposed. You ain't getting that exposure, you're getting exposed, right? So I just think that we really have to educate our kids, man, and talk to our kids about not being entitled and work hard for everything, because once they get onto this real world, boy, that entitlement label is gonna smack them right in their face. Yeah. So, so what's the takeaway? What's the takeaways here, right? Entitlement in youth sports is a growing problem. but it's not an unsolvable one. We can solve this as coaches, parents, mentors. It's our responsibility to set the right expectations to reward effort over talent and teach our young athletes that success is earned, not given, and it's about building character, not just building athletes. As a coach, that's the first thing you should be trying to build in your athletes is character, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing you should be trying to build in your athletes is character. So that's my main thing. I'm trying to build character. My character means everything to me. So I don't know. What you think, Coach?
Yeah, I would say for me and all the athletes out there that's viewing, just remember that. Just remember this one thing: the game doesn't owe you anything,
Nothing.
right? So you owe it your best effort.
Mm-hmm.
You owe it your dedication.
Yep.
You owe it your respect. Everything you put into it, that's what you owe the game.
Yep.
So put the work in. And we've been talking about entitlement, and the best way to combat entitlement, in addition to everything that we laid out for you, is just being humble, right?
Mm-hmm.
Staying humble, keeping your head down, keep working hard. Your reward will come. Just stay humble. Don't be so high minded, and all the rewards will come to you if you stay humble, if you continue to work, you continue to grind, and that's my take on it.
Yeah, yo, because look. So we was talking about rewards and talking about a player that stayed humble, and I'm gonna say this player name because she stayed humble. So my first year at Newtown, we had this player, Jaden, right? So Jaden was a girl that humbled as I don't know what. Like, dude, best teammate ever. Right?
Yeah.
Best teammate ever. She worked hard, never complained about anything. She never thought that she was entitled to anything. Right? When I got there, the girl barely played the whole game, the whole season. And I told her that, listen, keep on working hard. I'm going to get you better. This was her last year, 12th grade year. I wish I had her when she was in the 9th grade, but 12th grade year, no problem at all. Talked to her mom. No, mom was like, look, I'm glad she's getting 2 minutes a game. I don't, but she sees her improving. And when we're talking about rewards will come, the award banquet came, and this girl played 3 sports, right? Not the most talented player in basketball. Might have been one of the most talented players in other sports. But just because she was a great teammate, she took home more awards
Wow.
than anybody else at that award ceremony.
Wow. Reward effort.
Reward effort. Reward being a great teammate. Not because she was the most skilled, like because she was the best teammate. And she worked hard and ain't complained and ain't feeling entitled. But at the end of the day, she walked home with the most awards at the award banquet. She was like an Academy Award winner, or she was like Beyonce, winning all those Emmys and Grammys and all. You know what I'm saying? So like that hard work she put in, she stayed humble, man, and she walked away with more awards than the girl that scored mostly all the points of the game. Man, like, come on, kids. That is so total amazing. All right, y'all. Listen. We want to hear from you. You know, have you ever dealt with entitlement in your team, and how did you handle it? So let us know. Or if you're a player and you have ever caught yourself thinking about you're owed something, let us know. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to tune in next time when we tackle another hot topic in the world of sports. And hey, if you're struggling with this right now, just check out my latest episode about burnout and things like that, and and give me your perspective on all of this. You know what I mean? So it might give you perspective on on your game, and you might not think you're being entitled, but just think about it. Think about a comment below, man, and share your story, right? What you think, Coach?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Share this episode with your fellow coaches, parents, and players, and just make sure we get this word out so that a lot of people can get help on this particular topic. We want to spread the word, and we want to keep building up these young athletes the right way. So, on that note, peace.
Right. So look, this is the Underdawgs Voice, and remember, stay humble, stay hungry, keep grinding. I'm Coach Steve. This is Coach Hodge, and guess what? We're out. Oh, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Bye.